cars have been the talk of the town for a while, with the all-electric Nissan Leaf even winning European Car of the Year in 2012. But for most people, the hefty price tag and limited battery range has been a barrier. They might be a sustainable proposition, but they're just not practical for most buyers, unless you're an eco-warrior or early adopting urbanite. Renault is banking on these tech-savvy early adopters with a Twizy, a tiny, futuristic-looking electric quadricycle, which looks more like a golf buggy than a car. It's one of the cheapest electric vehicles on the market, although you'll have to do without proper doors, a proper passenger seat, or a boot, and you'll need to lease the batteries that make it go. The Twizy isn't fitted with doors as standard, they're optional extras. You'll also notice there's no windows. Plastic detachable windows are coming, but until then you'll have to hope for uncharacteristically dry British weather. So, if there are no windows, how easy is it to steal? Thankfully, the steering wheel is well and truly locked without a key in the ignition. There's an electronic immobiliser, or you can pay extra for an anti-lift alarm. What's so refreshing about this car is how extraordinarily different it looks. The eye-like front lights and exposed suspension help define its sci-fi styling. The Twizy is shorter and narrower than the Smart 4 too, making it a dream to park and manoeuvre through traffic. The interior is, well, basic. There's a simple dashboard with a speedometer and battery graphics showing how many miles are remaining. The only buttons are for hazard lights and switching between drive, neutral and reverse. There's also a handbrake under the steering wheel. The driver gets 2 seat belts to stop them falling out in case they haven't opted for doors. There's no boot to speak of, but there's some mesh netting and a couple of well-hidden, if flimsy, lockable compartments. There's not much space for a passenger, and even if you do fit one in, the conversation will be limited. In case the heavens open, there's a drain hole in the front seat and some more on the floor, so any excess water won't cause you trouble as you're tootling along. The interior plastics are especially durable for weather resistance, practical but unglamorous. Renault claims the Twizy has a 62-mile range, and you'll see an increasing number of charging stations around towns and cities, but for most, charging at home will be the norm. Twizy is a type of car that means cabbies and pedestrians strike up conversation with you at traffic lights, so you'll need to be friendly to own one.
There's room for 2, but you're going to have to be pretty small. You could get in there easily.
The quiet whining 17 horsepower electric engine drives smoothly, and the brakes are responsive, although you'll never do faster than 50 miles per hour. The horn could do with being a bit meatier than this though. The ride is incredibly firm, which means that every rumble strip, water grid and speed hump can be felt right up your spine. There's also no back window or rear mirror, so visibility is a bit tricky too. The Twizy is a fun urban car with plenty of curb appeal, but for most people the sums just don't add up, especially when you consider you can buy a fully functioning Volkswagen Up for marginally more. Factor in the absence of windows or heating in a climate like Blighty, and this car is best left in the showroom.